right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. All right, man, I need to go down as Phenomedonis, Nostradamus, because I knew this was going to happen. Bob Arum makes an announcement about what is most likely next for George Kambosos, Vasyl Lomachenko, and Devin Haney. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before we get into the meat of the video, please make sure to hit the like button before you leave the video. If you don't watch it all the way to the end, it'd be great if you'd watch it all the way to the end. Also, make sure if you're not subscribed to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all of that good stuff. So, yeah, man, I've been telling you this. This is more than likely what is going to happen in the lightweight division. Over the last couple weeks, we've had a lot of really good fights in the lightweight division. You had Teofimo Lopez, who lost his titles, 3 of the titles, to George Kambosos, and a 4th, the franchise championship. You had Devin Haney, who defended his WBC title. You had Gervonta Davis, who has a secondary belt. And then you have a non-title fight coming up this weekend between Vasyl Lomachenko and Richard COMMEY. In an interview with Bob Arum, who's the promoter of Top Rank, he's the promoter of Teofimo Lopez, who held the belts before he lost to George Kambosos, and he is the promoter for Vasyl Lomachenko, who is a top-rated lightweight, and I do believe the #1 rated guy in the WBO. He says that his understanding is that the WBO is going to mandate that George Kambosos fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, if you are a boxing fan and you pay close attention to what's going on, this is about as big a surprise as fire in hell. You know what I mean? It's like you knew that this was exactly what was going to go down. I've been pretty much saying it anytime anybody talked about what's next for George Kambosos, right? Because people are saying, well, George Kambosos is going to want to fight Devin Haney for the undisputed title, the true undisputed title, where there is no question about who the WBC champion is. Other people are saying, that Gervonta Davis would be the front runner because of the money that Gervonta Davis brings to the table. My take was the most likely candidate for the fight for George Kambosos is for him to be mandated to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, why did I say that? Because it is the WBO, the World Boxing Organization, or as more commonly known as whatever Bob orders. Bob Arum is able to get that organization to order the fights that he wants ordered. And since his one guy, Teofimo Lopez, lost all those belts, not surprising at all that he's going to push a button, which is called a phone. Call up the WBO and say, look, we want you to we want a petition in you to call the mandatory on George Kambosos and make that the #1 challenger, who at this moment is Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, Vasyl Lomachenko obviously has a fight coming up this weekend with Richard COMMEY. However, if you're familiar with Richard COMMEY and you're familiar with Vasyl Lomachenko, you have to bet that more than likely this is going to be a win for Vasyl Lomachenko. Richard COMMEY is a good fighter. He's a strong fighter, but the skill level of Vasyl Lomachenko and the experience level of Vasyl Lomachenko, he's just at a higher level than Richard COMMEY. And also, I think Richard COMMEY also got, the book laid out on him a little bit, in that he doesn't take body shots well, or at least he didn't take a body shot very well from Teofimo Lopez. And you better believe that Vasyl Lomachenko saw that. So when Bob Arum was asked what he would do, because Kambosos said that he wants to have a fight in Australia, Bob Arum said, that's no problem at all. We'll go to Australia. Vasyl Lomachenko will go to Australia to fight him in Australia. And that's the truth, because they have had fights before. Top Rank has had fights before for WBO championships in Australia, specifically Jeff Horn when he fought Manny Pacquiao. Actually, Bob Arum, I do believe, likes to go to Australia because Australia has a history of subsidizing the fights that take place there. So that's that much less money that Bob Arum has to spend out of his money, out of his pocket, right? And Bob Arum when Bob Arum talked about the top lightweights, he was like, look, Vasyl Lomachenko is an excellent fighter. Devin Haney may be a very good fighter. He said Gervonta Davis is a very good fighter, and that George Kambosos is not a top level fighter. So they're looking to go just get that money off George Kambosos, more than likely I would suspect by stoppage with Vasyl Lomachenko. So everybody that is getting upset, getting hyped up about Devin Haney getting a shot at all of those belts for unification, I telling you that was out of sorts. From pretty much that anybody that's been speaking any other than Eddie Hearn, because there's literally nothing over there that is for George. In fact, if I had to line up who's most likely, Devin Haney, the number one would be Vasyl Lomachenko, because Vasyl Lomachenko is going to be the WBO mandatory. If they do not order a mandatory, then the number two option is Gervonta Davis, provided Gervonta Davis wants those belts. And Gervonta Davis probably would only want those belts for one fight and likely to drop them after that. And then after that, Devin Haney. But the good news is, at least the purported good news coming from Bob Arum, is that Vasyl Lomachenko would then want to fight Devin Haney so that they can get the real undisputed title, right? The one, because the reporter said, well, wouldn't George Kambosos want to fight for, a complete undisputed title? And Bob Arum said, well, Vasyli's going to get that fight because the WBO is going to order it. And then after that, we'll go and we'll fight Devin Haney for that. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. More than likely, that is not going to happen. More than likely, what would happen if Vasyl Lomachenko beat George Kambosos is that Bob Arum would try to push for a Gervonta Davis fight, if at all possible, because they would believe that the Vasyl Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis would be a very, very big pay-per-view. And I do believe it would be, because that is the only other guy that I think really does have a big and established name in the division, is Vasyl Lomachenko. More so than George Kambosos, obviously. More so because he's got a longer record there in that division, and as far as people knowing him, than Teofimo Lopez did, that had only really headlined one card. And he may be able to convince Floyd Mayweather that really is the big money, the big fight for Gervonta Davis with the southpaw matchup with Lomachenko. But if anybody's thinking this guy, this is one thing I will agree with, that Rolly Romero, and notice Rolly Romero fans, all 9 of you, that I'm pronouncing his name right. Rolly Romero said that George Kambosos is going to lose his title in the next fight. And you better believe it, because if you think that George Kambosos is beating Vasyl Lomachenko, man, like I said, I got a bridge to sell you. Get out of here. The very, very small chance of that happening, especially after George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez. Now, Bob Arum said that Teofimo Lopez shouldn't even have been there. He should have been in the hospital, right? And that's the reason why he lost. I'm not gonna strip everything from Kambosos, but Vasyl Lomachenko is not Teofimo Lopez. He's a much more well-rounded fighter, much more experienced champion, and George Kambosos is going to be in a world of, a world of changing angles and body shots and quick counterpunching. Let's put it that way. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Make sure you hit the like button before you get out. Also, subscribe, share the video if you wouldn't mind. And with that, I'm out. Peace.